Hey gamers, it's Jag here. So, I'm sorry for not posting for a while. I just kind of got busy with stuff and life just kind of, got in the way. But, it's just natural shit, it happens. Now that Arc Raiders is released, I've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders. I've been very hyped for Arc Raiders. I've been playing it since the alpha, Tech Test 1, Tech Test 2. I have like 104 hours in like the playtest alone. So, with this being said, I'd like to ask the question is Arc Raiders too easy? And in my opinion, I feel like Arc Raiders is a little too easy. I think it's too forgiving for an extraction shooter. Now before, people start typing and be like, Jack, the fuck you mean it's too easy? You want this to be Tarkov? No, I don't want it to be next Tarkov. If you want to play Tarkov, I'll just play Tarkov. I love Tarkov. I have 800 hours in Tarkov. I fucking love Tarkov. What I mean by this, though, is that I think the safety nets that are in Arc Raiders currently, I think are too safe. Does that make sense? Like, I think they're too safe. They feel like they coddle you a little bit more than they should, and I feel like you snowball way harder into mid and late game faster than you really should in a lot of other extraction shooters, and it becomes too easy and it becomes too repetitive. And I think that would be that's like the death of a lot of extraction shooters, is when it becomes too easy or too repetitive. And if you get to the point where you already got the high tier loot, or you're pretty solid, and you got that mid tier loot, and nothing's really a challenge anymore, that's when the game starts getting boring. Sure, I know that the team is probably gonna have like events and like a thing of like donate like 500 metal for this shit, like, oh, the 500 metal. But I think in its current form, I think it's too easy. I think the safety nets are too much. I think the free loadouts is the culprit, in my opinion. Yes, I know the free loadouts are eventually going to get outclassed in, like, let's say the next like week or so, right? When people start getting medium shields or even heavy shields and better combat augments, and it's gonna be harder for the fucking Rattler or the Kettle or the Pharaoh that you brought in with the free loadout. It's gonna struggle more. It's more of a risk. But in the beginning wipe, and this was my issue throughout the Tech Test 1 and Tech Test 2. I can't really talk about Tech Test 1, but Tech Test 2 and Server Slam, it was like a lot of like, it's just easy to do the free loadout over and over again and get free loadouts because you don't lose anything from free loadouts, right? It's a free loadout. It's like a scav run in Tarkov. But with that being said, I think it should have a timer. Like I think free loadouts should have a timer, and I think it should be like 20 minutes. I think it should be 20 minutes, and there should be like a skill that lowers it. Like Tarkov. I keep saying like Tarkov, and I'm probably gonna get shit for it. I think it should have a timer, and the timer should be able to get lowered depending on like a skill or I don't know, some else arbitrary shit. I think it should have a timer so you can't just snowball so hard in the early game, because you don't lose anything with doing a free loadout, especially like early wipe, because everybody's gonna be running the same loot. Everybody's gonna have that Kettle. Everybody's gonna have that Rattler. Everybody's gonna have that fucking Pharaoh. And yeah, we're starting to see it less and less now, but people who strategized off that and just did free loadouts back and back have they're just fucking snowball so hard, and they're just already they're already in a state of richness and loot richness that they're kind of already set. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's too easy, you know what I mean? Like, extraction shooters are meant to be difficult. It's the genre. Not like Tarkov difficult, but it's meant to be hard. It's meant to be stressful. I mean, that gear fear. But if you have everything, the gear fear is gone, the stress is gone, and the game just becomes a regular game. It doesn't become an extraction shooter anymore. I think they should add a timer to free loadouts. I think it should be like 20 minutes, and you'd be able to lower it down to like maybe 10. And this might be controversial. I don't think you should be able to trade out your free loadout augment for tier 1 augment, because that too is also just really broken early game, because everybody's gonna be running level 1 augments, and being able to just recycle free loadout augments just makes it, again, like, it's too easy. Like, you already have Scrappy, right? Like, you have Scrappy. I don't think Scrappy should be touched. I think Scrappy is great how he is, with the level system and all that. I think the glaring issue is the free loadouts and being able to swap out a free loadout augment for really any Mark 1 augment. Because I feel like it also takes away from the trading aspect. Like, I feel like you should never get anything for free in extraction shooters because it fucks up the economy. And that's what extraction shooters really are. It's a game of economy, realistically. Without that level of economy, the game just kind of snowballs and it spirals and it becomes too easy. And I think it should be 20-minute timer, maybe down to 10, with some skills or whatever. And I think you should not be able to trade on your augment to a better one. I think you should be more reliant on crafting, even in the crafting must be easy. Crafting's crafting. You still lose something at the end of the day of it. Now this one's a little bit more controversial. No, I don't really know how I feel about it, but I don't think you should really do a free loadout in a night raid. I think free loadout in a night raid seems counterintuitive because night raids are meant to be way harder. So I don't really think you should be able to use a free loadout in night raids. I feel like that's kind of like defeats the purpose of a night raid. But that's just kind of me. That's how I kind of feel about it. Yeah, let me know in the comments if this video blows up. Probably not, but if the video blows up, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong or if I'm right, or if you have a different aspect of view of it. I'll be posting more here again now that Arc Raiders is out, and I'm very passionate about Arc Raiders. Again, I have like 100 hours to like Alpha, TT1, TT2, Server Slam, like 104 hours. I love the game. But so yeah, this was Jag. See you guys later, and bye bye.